Welcome to the Georgia-Florida Baseball Show, brought to you by Georgia Showcase Baseball and its owner, Coach Ben House. Ben, how we doing today?
Doing good, KP. How are you today?
Man, I'm great. We have with us today one Ryan Klesko, former Big League All-Star, owner of one of the greatest weeks in baseball history, as he hit 3 home runs in 3 consecutive World Series games. Ryan, how are you doing?
Doing good. Just running, busy time of year. School ball's over. Did a lot of charity events this week. So I think I've been in 4 states in the last 5 days.
Right. We're going to dive into that because sadly, we're not going to talk about Ryan's pro career, which was fantastic, but we are going to talk about his perfect game affiliation, the fact that he is, like he said, traveling all over to try to help kids and people raise money, and just everything he's involved with now that we can get into a short format. Now, he's in a car, but he's not driving. As you can see, he doesn't have a seatbelt on. He is safe and sound. We are all safe and sound. And we're going to talk about all that and more after this.
This is the Georgia-Florida Baseball Show, brought to you by Coach Ben House with Kevin Perkins from Surrounded by Sports.
We are back. Thank you to our sponsor, Arden's Garden, Atlanta source for juices, smoothies, and plant-based foods. Thank you to Showcase Apparel, the fit for your team. Remember to like, subscribe to the Georgia Showcase Baseball YouTube channel for a chance to win a t-shirt designed by you and the owner of Showcase Apparel, Coach Ben House. All right, Ryan, tell me a little bit about your partnership with Perfect Game, which is the biggest organization that runs travel baseball in the world.
Well, my son's been playing baseball, since he's, been 7, 8 years old. We started playing, a lot of tournaments and started going where we live in South Georgia. The talent's good, but obviously when you want your kid to play at the next level, you got to start traveling and putting your kid against the best there is. And so we started doing travel baseball. We won the state championship at Vine Eagle Little League right out in Macon, Georgia. And, we decided to just start doing the travel ball thing. And over the course of a few years, we've started going to Atlanta. We've been to Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. It's just been me and my wife love it. It's been a great experience. And the main thing is to get your kid exposed to some of the best talent around there, as early as you can. And we've come to find out when I got involved with Perfect Game, the new ownership group that just took over a couple of years ago was the former sports agent, and he represented a lot of my former teammates, and we were always friends, saw each other at some places. And so when they took over, they brought me in as kind of the special advisor to the ownership group because I'm at all the tournaments. These guys, they don't have any. I don't think they have any kids that are playing. A lot of them, already older kids and stuff like that. So they kind of used me as an advisorship group to what's going on at the stadium, at the ballpark, all these different tournaments and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. It's just not Perfect Game. They have several companies that are involved with them. There's training. We're working on nutrition right now for the kids. We're working on arm care. We're working on right now. My 15U team is, they're going to start getting recruited. So we're working on working with some colleges out there to help with recruiting. We brought it in and just brought it and just trying to make it better. We're trying to not just make it a baseball a tournament that you play in. We're trying to get involved. Perfect Game's trying to get involved with every aspect of the training, and the recruiting, the nutrition, everything. So that's kind of the next steps we're taking right now.
Does boots on the ground Klesko mean anything to you?
Yeah, that's my nickname. So I'm at all the tournaments. So whenever they've got a question of what's going on, that's kind of what they call me. Yep, boots on the ground.
Right. Now, you have several of your ex-teammates, and like you said, an agent took over, so he brought in like Sabathia and guys like that. It's important to have I read a quote from him, and he said it's important to have people that aren't just there for their specific children, because what you're really trying to push is the advancement of the game in totality. Can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so that's the thing is Rick Thurman, one of the guys was part of the ownership group. I think he threw this group together. Agents to guys like Barry Bonds and Trevor Hoffman and Rob Ponger, and those guys, they came to me and they're like, look, we've seen you the last couple of years at all these tournaments, and I helped coach the top kids in the country on the Select Fest. They just wanted my opinion. They're like, what can we do to make perfect game better and more involved? And so that's how the whole thing got. Is I was really excited that the ownership group was really wanting to get involved with not just taking money for the tournaments. They want to improve these kids, and they want to try to get them scholarships and possibly a lot of these kids. I'd say probably most of your top draft picks that come out of the MLB draft, I'd say 90 to 95% of them have come through some type of perfect game tournament over their lifetime, and several of them were playing nonstop, and it helps them get exposure on social media. But the main thing is that it helps them. Like, my kid is 15, and he's going to be facing guys that are throwing 90 miles an hour this year, and they're going into high school, right? And so he plays at a small school in South Georgia. He may only face one guy that throws 90 all year, maybe two guys in the whole league. Well, we're going to go to a tournament here pretty soon, and he'll be facing probably five guys just in the next month that are throwing 90 plus. So it's about getting the training first of all, but also getting the exposure and facing the best in the country, so that you can actually go out there. And colleges are recruiting. Colleges are starting to recruit. And look at these kids at 13, 14, 15, 16 years old now. So the main thing is to get the proper training. And I think Ben will agree with this. It doesn't matter how good you are. You've got to have some training, some proper training in mechanics and to keep yourself healthy, but also so you don't expose hurting your elbow. And if there's bad hitting mechanics or pitching mechanics, by the time you get to the high school and college level, you're going to get exposed.
Right. Ben, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Ryan hit it on the head, man. I preach each and every day about the training aspect part about this travel ball. A lot of parents just want to jump in these tournaments and not knowing that their kids aren't ready because they haven't been properly trained. Because when you go and put these kids in these big tournaments, these WWBAs and some of these bigger tournaments, man, recruiters and scouts are looking for they're not looking for just talent. They're looking for approaches. How kids has an approach in the box. How kids demeanor is on the mound. Does he have good mound presence? They're looking for stuff like that because at the next level, going to college, playing in some of these Power 5 schools and getting drafted or whatever, they don't have time to teach that. So kids.
Yep. You had a little glitch there, Ben.
Yeah, if the kids don't have proper training techniques, then they're kind of just fighting an uphill battle because training is very important, and Ryan hit the head on the nail when he was talking about that.
Yeah, Ryan, we went to a Rise to Greatness event last weekend in Birmingham, and I watched a 13-year-old hit 5 straight balls, 355 feet. 13-year-old.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that all the time. But part of what you're doing, getting these kids exposure and having them meet people like you and people like, we had some pros walking around like Reggie Sanders and guys like that at that event. Part of that is also helping them gain confidence, because what you're talking about, Ben, is they're recruiting a mentality. Can you talk on that, Ryan?
Yeah. So, honestly, I spent a lot of time with the younger kids, but now as they're getting older, if say for instance, you're a recruiting coach for like Tennessee, and they've only got 11 scholarships, but they're looking at the third baseman is going to be a junior, senior. They're got to start recruiting early. And there's 5 kids, and they're looking at 5 different kids from all over the country. Well, they all know that all those 5 kids can hit. They all can throw. They all can run. So now they have to make a decision. So the decision is how the kid reacts to a strikeout, how the kid reacts to adversity. So most of the time they're looking to pick that kid that's going to be a good teammate. He's going to have good grades. He's going to be technically sound when his mechanics and his hitting in the box, like Ben was saying. By the time they're looking at these guys, like, and I'm teaching my kids, you got to stand out. Like that coach knows you can hit. That coach is coming to see how you react if you had a bad inning on the mound, or if you struck out 2 times in a row. Are you going to go in there and not be a good teammate? Are you not going to pick your teammates? Are you going to throw your glove around in the dugout and stuff like that? So we're really at the aspect now at the older age is to teaching these kids at an early age proper mechanics to keep healthy. Don't overthrow with your innings. The main thing is, like, I never would have made it if I didn't have proper training. I always give the example. If I'm going to hit golf balls every day with my crappy swing, I'm never going to become a good golfer until someone comes and fixes my swing. And that's the thing, is that at this level with all the technology stuff, my job at this level, there was nothing really around to really help these kids. Because a kid could go hit every day and he's trying, but he's not going to get any better. He's actually developing a bad swing. I'd rather get him at 10, 11, 12 years old early on, so I break those bad habits early, and that's part of the training aspect of it.
Right. We're going to take a quick break. Ryan, I did a little bit of stalking you as we were getting ready for the interview. I watched a couple of the interviews you did elsewhere, and you talked about trying to make travel baseball a little bit more affordable. And part of that was because you weren't raised a man of means. Do you want to expand on that just a little bit?
Yeah, I was talking a little bit about this last night. It's like, what am I doing with my time, my spare time, other than working? I would have never made it to the major leagues, or probably had a college scholarship, if it wasn't for the people around me, my little league coach, my mom working jobs to get me to hitting and pitching lessons at an early age. Both my sisters went to hitting and pitching lessons. My mom, we didn't have a lot of money. She worked 2 jobs. If it wasn't for her to get a good structure at an early age, I would have never been able to get to the next level. And so I started looking back, and it's like, grandma would give us $10. My little league coach would give us $10. I'd go play in a tournament in California. We were playing tournaments, not as early as we are now, but you got to get the exposure. So I had to think back and say, look at everybody, what everything was doing for me. And so when I retired from the game of baseball, I mean, I've gotten calls before, like the day we were supposed to play, and go, "Hey, coach, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this weekend. I don't have any money for food this weekend, or my mom can't afford the $20 or $50 tournament fee to play this weekend." And so I really started gathering some friends. We started doing some charity events. We have a 501c3 that works with, we had a big foundation dinner with the Blue Rhino Foundation, which is something I started years ago to raise money to help with the tournament fees. Their uniforms are all paid for. A lot of our teams, most or all the tournament fees are paid for. The training, we have top trainers, major league players coming in. The top velocity guys came in from Ohio a couple of weeks ago, worked with all our pitchers. And so the main thing, like Ben and I were talking about, you got to get the training there, and we got to be able to get access to them. And we have we're one of the only organizations, one of the only scout teams that has either a major league scout or a major league player working with every age of these teams. So we have a 14U through 18U team. So again, it's not about just me. I don't collect money for my kids. I don't charge anything to the parents. Most of these travel ball teams, which is fine because everybody's got to make a living. I just decided to put a little extra work into it and to raise the money for these kids. So I don't get those calls that say, "Coach, you can't make it this weekend. My mom or my dad, or I can't afford to eat that week, or I can't afford to play." And there's a lot of that from the time my son's been 8 years old. We've got to help with assistance. And if I didn't have the assistance when I was younger, there's no way I'd have made it to the major league. So that's kind of my whole spiel on that.
Right. Ben, it's hard, right?
Oh yeah, it's tough. And it's very tough. We're heading in that direction. We also have a 501c3. We're not getting the funds that are needed. But it's coming. We're starting to partner with some of these bigger organizations, some of these bigger corporations now. Roster's down to a showcase last weekend, to bring a few of my kids down there to some exposure. It was a free showcase. You had Reggie Sanders, Dimitri Young, Michael Tucker, and Preston Wilson, just to name a few guys that were down there, just kind of put their hands on these kids, and also just some encouragement. So we're heading in that direction, and I love what Ryan's doing with the kids. So we're almost there.
Ryan, real quick before we go, as we're wrapping, who are some of your cohorts that help you in this raising of funds? I'd love to give them some credit if you don't mind. I see you can take pictures with Gary Sheffield a lot.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, it takes a village, right? And like I said, I would have never made it for one for that. But I mean, we got a lot of good strategic partners, or just a lot of friends of mine that had successful businesses, a lot of country singers. We had just had our event last week in Nashville, and we had several songwriters, Bobby Pinson, Preston from Low Cash, Chuck Wicks, Cole Taylor, just a lot of country singers that love the sport of baseball. The Atlanta Braves teamed up with the Atlanta Braves. Our tryouts are actually tryouts. Imagine this: our tryouts come at the truest ballpark. So the Atlanta Braves donated the field, which is would never be able to afford to do that. They send some of the major leaguers down. We have several of the former Atlanta Braves helping, again, like Marquise Grissom, Dimitri Young, all the guys, Reggie Sanders I played against. They're donating their time to give back to the game, and I think that's what Ben and I say. It's important for these guys, and they understand where they came from. So I think it's important that a lot of us give back to the game and help to get these kids a chance to get looked at, even play college. We all know they're all not going to play pros, but tell you what, that dream is there. And if they, I tell any kid, if they work hard enough, there's definitely going to be a shot. Hey, worst case scenario, you get into college and you get a college education or get a scholarship to go somewhere. And again, if it wasn't for all that, I would have never had a chance to do what I got to do. And so, I'm just trying to give back. I love the kids. I love to see them get better and have that look in their eye. Like we had a kid last year that never played in any of the tournaments. He was a South Georgia kid, and he played with us for maybe 3 months, and he's already getting recruited by some of the top colleges. He's 92 miles an hour. He's 92 miles an hour off the bump as a 15-year-old. Again, that was a guy that his parents are really not around much. His grandparents are raising him. They can't afford, we'll drive 2 hours to go pick him up, and he'll stay with us at the hotel. And, just if I can change one kid's life, it makes it all worthwhile.
Ryan, you're changing way more than one kid's life, man.
Well, thank you.
You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Ben, you got anything to add?
No, man. I appreciate your time, Ryan.
Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you soon, Ben.
You guys, thank you for watching.
Yep, I'll see you soon, man.
Thank you for watching. Hang in there for a little bit. I'll tell you who gets a shot at the T-shirt. And y'all have a great week. Appreciate you. Ryan, thank you so much. You have a great day, man.
You too.
And welcome back. The winner of the T-shirt this week, the opportunity to have a T-shirt you designed with Coach Ben House from Showcase Apparel, is at Justin Hunter 2101, at Justin Hunter 2101. He commented on the show with Willie Slayton and the Tribe. It was we really enjoyed doing that show, guys. If you're new to this show, because Brian Klesko, Braves hero, who we really thank for coming on the show and spending time with us. If you're new to the show because he was on it, go back and watch some of the other episodes if you found some good information on this one, because we go through and we give you information from junior college coaches, from recruiting coordinators at four-year schools, from HBCU coaches to guys who played in the minor leagues, guys who scouted, local coaches, players, just in the Atlanta area, and we're going to branch into the Pensacola, Florida area as well. The more we do it, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback. So please go through and check some of these things out. But showcasebaseball.georgia@gmail.com or 678-469-5994. 678-469-5994. You're going to be talking to Ben House, or you're going to be emailing Ben House. Again, showcasebaseball.georgia@gmail.com. Get yourself, you'll sit down, you'll figure out a design for a shirt you want, and he'll get that to you. Okay, so thank you very, very much. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Brian Klesko, you're an incredible guy. Thank you for all you do for kids that both you know and that you don't know, and that you're out there playing golf and raising money for people all the time. You're going where people need you to be to help others. People like you are why all this stuff can work. Thank you so much. And Ben, thank you so much for being willing to take your time to start something like this so we can help people gain knowledge and help their children. Thank you so much. Appreciate you watching. Take good care of yourselves.